Hey everyone, this is Flix.
This is Pop, aka K&B, the sexy ninja, because people get confused.
Because you can't pick one name. Regardless, we're here today to do kind of a special. We've each seen the movie Shazam now. It took him until the DVD came out to finally see it. Which Blu-ray. Either way, the disc to come out for it to finally see it, which should tell you his level of excitement in seeing the movie. Where, I saw it in theaters, I've given my 2 cents on it before, but we're going to have a discussion about it right now, because we've already sort of had a discussion here, and we really have different opinions on this movie, like, very different opinions on this movie. So, if you want to see what I think of it overall, I have my review on the POP-FLIX YouTube, but let's hear what he has to think about it first.
I will put this on Front Street. I used to wave the DCEU flag like crazy, but then some sense got knocked into me, and it took the movie Aquaman to completely destroy everything I love about DC, and that movie, he knows, in time just completely just killed any future hope for...
You can watch the road. You don't have to look at the camera as you're saying things.
I can do both. I multitask. You know me.
I can do both!
I can do No, but I was not the biggest advocate for the DCEU anymore. I completely fell out of love with the DCEU because of fucking Aquaman. And
it's because of fucking Aquaman, not because he fucked Aquaman.
A little bit of both after I saw that movie.
I feel like you thought Aquaman fucked you, but...
It was vice versa. I know. Rambling.
You're ranting on the rest of the DCEU except for what we're here to talk about.
So I did not see Shazam in the theater because, like I said, everything that I was excited about was completely dead. So I waited until the Blu-ray came out. Yes, I bought the Blu-ray. Why? Because I'm a crazy asshole who has to make sure that his collection is complete. And I'm going to buy Dark Phoenix if that makes any sense. I know. I watched Shazam today before we did our show today, our podcast. I fucking loved that movie so goddamn much. I shouted to the world. I picked him up, and I was like, I love Shazam so much. I was in tears. I was laughing. I got up and I cheered the movie, and then I ran for us to do the show. I feel like I'm Kevin Smith when I say these things, but yes, those are my initial reactions. I love the movie.
Okay, well, and cliff notes on mine. It was okay, it was fine, it wasn't great, it had a lot of plot holes, which was also why it was the one movie so far that's made me go as far as to make a questions I have about a movie from a movie. I have 15 questions for Aquaman. But I didn't think it was good. I think there's at least 2 other DCEU movies that are better than it. So...
Which ones?
BVS The Ultimate Cut, and then Wonder Woman.
I think this is the best DC movie out of all of them.
See, and I think it's better than Man of Steel, but that's because that was a really low bar to set. I think it's better than Aquaman, but as we've discussed, that was a very low bar to set. I think it's better than Suicide Squad, because that bar is on the bottom of Satan's wine cellar. So, there really wasn't anything that this movie had expectation-wise. But it was still really stupid. And don't get me wrong, I understand suspension of disbelief in comic book movies and fun stuff like
Sometimes
that.
Sometimes it seems like you don't.
I do. I don't go like, hey, how can Iron Man fly?
How the fuck can this man fly?
How can Iron Man fly in a powered suit? That doesn't exist. No, I go, why in Iron Man 2 was the entire purpose he was being poisoned to death, but in Iron Man 3 at the end he just has a thing taken out and gets it all resolved? Like, those are the questions I ask.
Yeah, but those over the span of 2 movies.
That's true, but one movie had the other one solved. Either way, back to this one. I thought it was real, like, a lot of the movie had plot holes in it that made it less enjoyable. The villain The villain was just an asshole for the sake of being an asshole. He didn't have an end motive.
Yeah, he did.
What was his end motive?
To prove his dad. Like, tell his dad, fuck you.
That person he murdered?
Yes, the one he says, you kept on belittling me. Hey, guess what? I went all crazy, and I found the thing I told you about, because you didn't believe me, Dad.
But that's like
you didn't believe me.
But that's like saying the Joker's motivation in the first Batman movie in 1989 was to kill his mob boss. That wasn't his motivation. That's what he did. His motivation was to cause chaos.
Yes, well, these are completely two different villains.
No, but I'm saying...
They set up the whole premise in the starting of the movie with the car crash. Spoilers. Yeah. If anybody...
Unlike most people, or unlike you, most people have seen this movie or have just stopped caring.
But I'm saying, they establish it in the starting. He was not chosen. He gets pissed off, and his dad's an asshole to him. And so then they have the car crash, and you think he dies.
Yeah, okay, but no. Here, skip forward past that. His dad, he has his monsters kill his dad. He kills his brother. What is he doing now?
He's wreaking out, but he has the 7.
Yeah, he's being corrupted by the 7 deadly sins.
Yes.
Cool. But he still does not have a purpose. What is he doing?
He
what
did
is
his purpose. The 7 sins gave him that purpose to kill his dad, to kill his brother, to prove him wrong, like, bitch, look. And then they were telling him, like, hey, by the way, there's another greater power that you need to go get. And
but
the Wizard's champion.
And it's still one of those, his motivation to take the power. He already has the power. He's stronger than Shazam. He's beaten Shazam already. Like,
it's not him in control. Even Shazam tells him, like, hey, I think these things are using you.
And he knows they are, and he doesn't care.
No, he doesn't know. I don't believe 100% he knows that he's being used, because there was a bit of confusion where he's like, no, they're not. Then envy was the biggest one that was holding on to him.
Because that was his biggest sin.
Yeah, that's what happens. You know, he's not pure of heart. He wasn't the chosen one. So it's envy that he felt throughout his entire life trying to prove his dad wrong. So he proved him wrong, got that check mark. And then the 7 sins are like, okay, we let you have your thing. Now we want the champion.
Okay, but even so, with that, what is the wizard doing? I'm going to bring every child here ever. Oh, these children aren't worthy. I'm going to keep sending them back without either erasing their memories or making it seem like a reasonable hallucination. Which, some of them, yeah, but he flat out let someone record the situation. Like, and that's what leads into this movie.
He's old. He even says it too. He's like, hey, the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm fucking old. And my brain's a little bit, mushy.
Hey, Billy, so if this had been like 30 years ago, I was losing my powers this badly, what's his name? I keep forgetting the villain's name. Savannah's.
Yeah.
Savannah would have these if it just happened like that, because Billy's obviously not pure of heart in this rendition, because it was the wizard's last choice.
It was so funny as I thought about that, is when he's like, the wizard's like, oh yeah, shit, 7 sins are gone. I can't really test him to see if he's pure of heart.
No, it's oh, hey,
you're my last hope.
You're my last one, Billy. Take this staff and say my name. And then it's just like, okay, well.
No, my favorite part, just real quick in that, he's like, grab my staff. He's like, ew, gross.
Well, and the positive that this movie had for it over every other DCEU movie was that it was actually funny at times. Now, don't get me wrong, Zachary Levi needs to be punched in the face for doing that stupid Fortnite dance. The floss?
Yes, I know. I don't know what Fortnite is, so I don't... Huh?
That road is close to me.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I know that... I don't know. I didn't have a problem with him. I didn't have a problem with him whatsoever. Because I actually really liked him. He had that childlike aspect of what Shazam was to me in the comic books. He was that kid as an adult.
I still think they should have gotten John Cena to do it. I'm going to stand by that.
I'm for that, but I don't mind him. Like, my wife was like, I hate him so much. He's the thing that ruins this movie for me. I'm like, why?
Yeah, like, why? There's like 15 other things at least that could have ruined the movie for you.
No, there's nothing in that movie that needs to be ruined by anything, because that movie is amazing.
I think that movie... The ending is one of the not like the ending, but like the climactic fight at the end is like one of my biggest issues with that movie, because there is absolutely no character development for anybody except for Freddie and Savannah's. Even Billy has like real minimum levels of like character development. His character development is, I'm an asshole looking for my mom. Oh, well, now I'm just an asshole that has learned a lesson about family. And cool, you know what? He learned more of a lesson than Freddie really did. Freddie's lesson was, I can't I can't let my disability hold me back, especially when I have superpowers.
No,
Like-
I think Billy totally got redeemed in that.
What did he do that
starts
was redeeming?
He fucking started helping. He goes, the one thing you fight for is your family. And he's like, Shazam! And he goes into the big climactic.
I love how he says that line though, where nothing up to that point makes it seem that way. The only reason that he was like that had that character moment of that was that Sylvanas attacked his family there at their home, but Billy wasn't really gonna be there.
No,
like,
but what I like about it, what broke my heart, is when, you know, he's getting yelled at by the house dad or whatever. You know, I wouldn't call him his dad yet, but you know, getting yelled by him and this and that, and they come in and he's like, hey, by the way, he's like, what are you doing with my notebook? And I'm like, I found his mom for him? Quit being a dick, Billy. You know, I was like, this is fucking heartbreaking. Then you find out about the mom, you're like,
but that's still, like, to me, that's not like a redeeming character thing. It's he was an asshole for the reason of finding his mom. He broke the law. He locked cops into the buildings. Like, he was actively doing stupid and mean things to people.
have you ever read Geoff John's Little Shazam run?
No.
Okay, we're gonna leave that there.
I mean, I've read plenty of Shazam origin stories / seen Shazam versus Black Adam. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I like that one. But then we cut to him, like, he finds his mom's a bitch. Like, she intentionally abandoned him, and he's been doing all this stuff to try to find a person that didn't care for him. And that's what everyone else was telling him, is, look, you're looking for this person. Like, the adults were telling him. The kids weren't necessarily telling him this, but the adults were like, you're looking for a person who's not looking for you. Understand that. Where the adults understand the situation, that he was probably abandoned. His mom's probably either dead somewhere or didn't care.
You gotta think how traumatic that has to be for a child.
And that's why when you see his perspective in the beginning of it, it seems a lot like, oh, this is so nice. Oh no, he's lost his mommy. And then when you actually see her perspective,
but then he's got to get kicked in the balls, like right then and there. And she's like, well, I saw you at the cops, and I'm 17 years old, and you know, this is so comic booky, like the hardcore comic book guys. That's so like lazy writing. They're like, well, we need his mom, like, to be like a bitch, but how can we do it? Oh, let's have her be like, I'm 17 and this and that.
But we even talked about this. We came up with a better reason for her to do that.
Yeah.
We said, because, you know, in the part when they're talking, there's a dude in the apartment that sounds kind of like an asshole. Like, he's probably abusing her. And I'm like, well, we were just like, well, what if that was his dad? And the reason she gave him up to the cops is because she had a very abusive husband and she didn't want him to have to deal with that. So that's what she did. She did it to protect him. And now that he's old enough to take care of himself, she's kind of let him go. Like,
we're the guys on the set that brings that up, and they're like,
you're fired.
You know what? Just we like our idea better.
Yeah. But it takes away from that, though. But then that happens, and he's suddenly just good. He's just good.
He's always been good, though.
No, he wasn't.
No, he's always been good.
He almost left Freddie behind simply for the fact that he was going to go run away. He stole the bullet from Freddie to try to sell. And the only reason he didn't end up doing it was because of the Wizard Shazam, pretty much. Because that's when he got, taken on the subways after he ran away and he had it in his backpack. Like...
No, I don't think he's going to do that.
He had it.
Yes, he admitted he had it. That's
and
how he
Freddie
proved
knew he had it.
Yeah, and he knew. Like, when you saw it in his face, the acting tells you everything. He was like, oh, wow, I shouldn't be an asshole and do this. But I'm going to go. But then this freak accident happens while I'm there, because he probably could have realized if this accident didn't happen, he's like, you know what, I better just take that bullet back because that meant a lot to Freddie.
I don't think he would. If those assholes,
I'm writing the perfect movie, man.
No, if those assholes hadn't hit Freddie with the car and Billy just walked off, that would have just been Billy going somewhere else.
That's how do you not go to jail for that either?
The guy hitting Freddie with the car?
Like, literally. And I'm like, you can call the cops on this asshole right now because he literally just hit a minor.
Well, and I mean, and then it gets even worse where this is something that's really common in movies that have to do with kids and superpowers and stuff like that. Instead of being respectful and just not letting the bullies have their way, they pick the truck up and just drop it. Like,
He pulled some Superman.
Yeah, but it's just... And like I was saying, the only people that really get character development, like Freddie gets the most character development out of anybody.
Yeah.
Like, Freddie is a more interesting character, which is why they got the better actor to play Freddie.
Oh God, I love that kid.
Yeah.
That kid is so good.
No, he is, but it's just they got him playing it. But then of course they had to make him a nerd, and like it's okay. Comparing him to Ned from Spider-Man, like from the first Spider-Man Homecoming one, Ned at least like they live in a world where superheroes are a common thing. The Avengers have saved New York from everything. That was a couple years back. He wants to be like the guy in the chair. He even says that. He's like, I want to be the guy in the chair. Well,
but he's not crippled.
Well, no.
So there's that aspect of Freddie.
But then, yeah, Freddie's projecting onto Shazam the entire time of, I wanted to be like you. And they even call it out. And he's like, yeah, of course I'd like to be like you. You think I'm happy being like this? I'd rather be like you. And that was a good moment. But that didn't stop the fact that they were both assholes the entire time. They weren't... We had this discussion before about
I told you I disagree.
Where Freddie is pretty much...
Billy's in the wrong the whole time.
And so is Freddie.
Freddie, not to an extent. He's crippled.
Okay, so if I was missing an arm and I stabbed you in the face, am I in the right?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Because it's 2019.
The movie came out in... the movie did come out this year. But no, like, as far as...
No, you got to think from Freddie's perspective. He's lived with, he's been bullied. He's got hit with the car.
Yeah, and he has a friend. He has a friend who he's now exploiting the same way that he sometimes feels like he's being exploited. No, look,
Let's think about this. Let's think if you are in Freddie's shoes and you're fucking...
His shoe and a half?
Your friend, or not his friend, but, they're going to grow to be best friends, gets superpowers, and you're like, wow, why wasn't that me? Well, he knows I have all the superhero knowledge. Then you get a little taste of it. Then you see him taking selfies and getting money, and then you go have fun and this and that. You get that sense of you are going to be jealous and you're going to become a little bit envious.
That's not what Ned does, though. When Ned in Spider-Man...
This is not about Ned!
No, but I'm talking about Ned and Freddie are similar characters. Characters who are not popular at school, who know the person who gets the superpowers, who find out about the superpowers and help that person. Ned is never like, I'm gonna be the superhero. It's, I want to be the guy in the chair. I want to be the person who helps you. I don't want to be known. I want to be the person who's helping you do the right thing. Where Freddie is, I want to be the dude who's known. I want to be the sidekick.
Yeah.
I want to be you, but not you. And that's the problem with Freddie is that Freddie
he idolizes
is
these superheroes. Yes, but he idolizes these superheroes to an extent like we all do. We look at them as gods. We look at them as like these beyond superheroes where, like, man, I wish I could be that. I wish I could be that. Then your friend becomes a superhero. You're like, wow, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. But it's not like, okay, so, and as we were talking about with this Wizard Shazam, it's not like he went, oh, well, there's Freddie and then there's Billy. I'm going to pick Billy. This is my last chance to pick someone. Billy was pretty much the next person on the list anyway. I'm pulling Billy here and I have to give him the power. And then, even to that, Freddie gets the powers at the end of the movie.
Yes.
And he is still...
Shazam Family.
He is... And yeah, we'll get to that in a sec. But he is still like, oh, I am so downtrodden at school. Where you're like, okay, dude, now you don't have that I'm just a crippled kid thing. Now you have I have superpowers. I don't care what anyone does to me at school because I am a superhero now. Like...
We can't just exploit that. He knows superhero 101.
He was exploiting that the entire time.
Yes, to his best friend that he knew wouldn't go back on him.
And then he wedged these two guys.
Now he knows. He's like, oh shit, I'm a superhero now, so...
Yeah, so he shouldn't be miserable anymore, though.
Why not? Batman's miserable all the time. Yeah, Superman was miserable for this whole DCEU universe.
Yeah, and we talked about the difference between those things. Okay, but to the Shazam family. My last problem that I want to talk about real quick on this one is Billy gives those powers to people he barely knows. He knows Freddie some. He doesn't know Freddie that much. But, what is it, Daisy? Mm-hmm. Pedro. Mary. And I can't remember what the last kid's name is. The one that's always playing video games.
Oh, yeah.
But he gives powers to Freddie and those guys. The other ones he barely knows. Mary's about to go off to college, maybe in a different state. Pedro said 2 words the entire movie.
Redeeming 2 words. Kick his ass, Billy. That was fucking awesome.
And Daisy? Did I say Daisy? Is Daisy Delilah?
It's Delilah.
It's some kind of flower.
I know, yeah.
she has openly admitted to not being a good secret keeper. And yes, we talked about it. She did technically keep the secret. But the moment people were like, I think Billy's Shazam, she's like, you got it!
Yeah,
like,
that's not telling them.
No, but okay, that's kind of telling them. If someone
No,
was just
not
like...
really. Like,
no,
they
if
figured
someone's...
it out themselves, and then she's just like, I don't have to hold on to this burden anymore.
And they're
You
like,
guys
oh,
figured
so
it out?
you knew the entire time. And she's like, yeah. But it's like... It's more like if someone walked up to Alfred and was like, man, I think Bruce Wayne might be Batman. And Alfred's like, thank you, finally, someone. Like, Bruce Wayne, or Alfred's telling that secret.
It's a little girl.
And that's the point, though. She is a, like, 10,
You're trying to
8-year-old
compare
girl.
an old butler to a little girl.
But I'm
who's
saying that
innocent.
there's
Like, even when she's at the dinner table and she's asked, she's like, how you doing, honey? And she's like, I'm good. She doesn't finish good because she can't lie. So when they figure it out, she's like, thank you for taking this burden off me because I don't want to lie.
She's still a little kid who has just been given, like, almost infinite power. Think about that. You have given a 5-year-old nuclear launch codes.
I love it.
But that's the thing, is that, like, that is my problem with some of the Shazam family storylines, is they're not all little kids sometimes. Sometimes they're teenagers. Like, it's pretty much like Captain Planet sometimes.
Yeah.
But in this movie, she's such a young, impressionable, and sweet girl. Like, when she saves Santa.
Hey, by the way.
Yeah. You're just like, oh my gosh, this person has the power of Superman. Like, is nobody else seeing this problem? Is that they now have ultimate power, and they're going to grow up with that. So it's going to corrupt them.
Well, then you teach them.
Who teaches them?
Huh?
Who?
Superman, he showed up at the end. Kind of.
Yeah.
Head digitally removed.
His shoulders and below showed up at the last second.
It was cute, though.
But
I was the first time he told me about that, Eric, I was like, just tell me the spoilers. I was like, they can't get Henry Cavill for that. Then I saw the movie, I was like, oh, that's sort of cute.
It's still a cute moment, but it's more like, I mean, I'm glad that Freddie's thing about Superman showing up kind of went full circle, or about Shazam showing up kind of went full circle and got better. But it's still, you now have Freddie, who's someone who's lived pretty oppressed his entire life from his him being crippled. You have Delilah, who is a really young and impressionable kid who doesn't necessarily understand, like, her power, like how much power she really has. You have Pedro, who very little talks, might be a sociopath. And then you have the other kid who's so enveloped in the games, and a lot of them were fighting games. I think he's playing like Mortal Kombat, wasn't he?
Yes.
Hey, there's a villain. Fatality. Oh, I just killed a man. Oh, no.
They're all...
Yeah, they're gonna learn by going all Brightburn on everything and wiping out half humanity.
No, they ain't gonna go Brightburn on nobody.
I'm just saying, you've just given a bunch of kids almost infinite power, and it's not even
Dude,
like...
let's just put it this way. As a comic book guy, you know me. I love Shazam. Like, Shazam was one of those characters I was like, this is one of those movies that you can't do. Then I was just like, oh, you can do it. But as a guy going in to see this movie, and then I already knew the Shazam family was coming. Or I seen all the toys. Like, they fucking spoiled that shit like high heaven. They're
That
like,
was a really weird one, too, where they were just like, oh, hey, here are the pop figures for it. It's the Shazam family. Like, whoa, 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 whoa.
yeah, I was like, that's kind of a spoiler, guys.
Well, no, you should, like, okay, people should not have content from the last 20 minutes of a movie being a sellable toy. Like, that's, I mean, Endgame did it really well with not having.
Yeah, they waited until Fat Thor. Like,
Yeah.
Fat Thor came out after the movie.
Exactly. Like,
But seeing all that, and then, like, I knew it was coming. But then when it came, and I saw them all there, I was like, my childhood is right here. Oh my God, the Shazam family. I am living in the moment that I've been waiting for. The comic books I've been reading, they just ripped them out of the page and said, here you go, little man. It's just, here you go. It's not on the level of the Endgame. Nothing will ever be on the level of the Endgame, but it was on that level of like, holy shit, I'm seeing everyone go to battle against Thanos. Oh my God, I'm living in this moment. Like,
no,
that,
and this, I don't know. I mean, first and foremost, Endgame had a better build-up as far as like.
I'm saying besides that.
I know. But with this one, it's if they'd gotten actors and actresses who are very well known to play the Shazam family.
I like what they do with them. I didn't mind.
Completely obscure people that nobody knows.
Yes.
But that's okay. So why would you get Zachary Levi, and then a bunch of random people?
Because DC and WB was like, all right, well, look, we can get Zachary.
We can't even get Henry Cavill. Come on, guys.
Like,
but I'm just saying, if you made it so it was more recognizable people, like, say, I know this isn't necessarily the right like connection between. And I know that he's going to be playing Atem. But say if we're not going to make a Black Adam movie, so we're going to make Pedro turn into the Rock. Like when he goes into the Shazam. What?
Why?
Just so it's a well-known, actually charismatic person. Could you imagine going from someone who doesn't speak, Pedro, to being the Rock and being that charismatic? Because it'd be like Jumanji, when you get the skinny little white dude that then becomes the Rock, and he's just like,
I'm not gonna cry.
Oh, do you feel that smolder? I felt that. Like,
did you see the trailer for the second one?
Yeah. That's the one I was going to talk to you about.
Yeah.
The movie I was thinking about. But regardless, what I'm saying is when you get no-name actors, then I have no offense to the actors and actresses. Awesome on you for getting to be in that movie. He could be Pedro. You wouldn't even have to slim down.
Saying, like...
you'd get a bigger Native American role than Slipknot.
We talked about that tonight.
We talked about that.
Because everyone was talking about, representation.
Yeah.
I was like, I got some representation in the DCEU. And,
that was the best part, though, too, when it was just like, what did you think about Slipknot? In what capacity? And you're just like, the character, Slipknot. I was only watching Harley Quinn, and you're like, you don't even know who Slipknot is, huh?
Yeah, it's a Native American guy. Adam Beach,
Yeah. And
he played in that Windtalkers movie.
Yeah, and then they... I think one of my best lines of the night, definitely in that one, was, well, at least he didn't cut his hair off and be disrespectful. No, they blew his hair off!
Well, we're wrapping up, sir.
Yeah, we're getting off subject, but I mean, that's talking about a worse DC movie than this, at least. So we're going to end on a note that we can at least agree on. But I'm going to ask you for your score right now, because we are going to actually do this as a POP-FLIX. But what is your score on Shazam out of 10? Because you keep making up numbers as we're going along.
Okay,
so out of 10.
From here on out, you will set the number. Just tell me what number it's out of. I will not go first in this.
It won't be 3, 5, 10, 7, 13.
Fluffies, ovens,
shots.
mitts, I don't know. Out of 10?
Mm-hmm.
10.
So this is as good as Endgame. So this is as good as Endgame.
Endgame's on a whole new level. Endgame's like on 20 or 30 or 50 or 100.
See, you're making up scales now.
Okay. If you want me to be realistic, Endgame has no scale. Endgame is on a somebody asked me this the other day, like, you haven't seen Spider-Man yet? I was like, yeah, I'm not in any, like, I want to go see it, but after Endgame, I'm like this, I'm good.
Well, that's how it was after Infinity War, when then Ant-Man and the Wasp came out, and we were like,
Yeah, but that movie was so satisfying and so filling that we were just like this. Okay, I'm good. I'll get the Spider-Man, but I'm still thinking about Endgame. Like, Endgame still, like, there's no scale. That's me. No scale to Endgame. But if there's a scale to this movie, a 10. It might change down the road. I said the same thing about a lot of movies, and we went back and watched them. I was like, wow. Someone dropped me on my head when I was small.
I know. Yeah, well, I'm sticking with my score of 3.
All right.
So
3, 10.
But, well, it was nice doing this with you. This is actually one of the few times we've discussed a movie that we both didn't see at the same time.
Yeah.
Which
the one I, like, 5 months apart.
I know. No, I literally... Okay, so I'm going to date this. We're on July 16th. This is the day Shazam came out on DVD. I have not watched Shazam since opening weekend in the movie theater.
I'm fucking impressed because we were talking and all of a sudden it was like, oh shit.
No, well, I mean, it's honestly, after the reason I want to, when we talk about our criteria for POP-FLIX, how I want us to have seen the movie at least once, is I have a general grasp of a movie after I've seen it once. So I don't really need to see it more than that to give an opinion on it, as my detailed, talking on a movie is about it. But with this one, we still have to do Aquaman. We've already finished recording Wonder Woman and Justice League.
We did Justice
League. We did do Justice League. So we're on Aquaman to watch for POP-FLIX. We haven't put the last 3 of them up, I think. We still need Wonder Woman and then Justice League, and then we're going to do Aquaman.
We need Suicide Squad. We haven't put Suicide Squad up.
We haven't put Suicide Squad up either. No, we did. We put Suicide Squad up. I might not have put it up on the C+ studio. I'll put that on there.
I'll talk about C+.
But yeah, so we need to put on C+. We still need to put the Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League. Then we'll get into Aquaman, which we've recorded those first 3. It's just a matter of editing. He's not looking forward to Aquaman, but he's still gonna have to deal with it because I'm gonna have to deal with Shazam again.
Shazam's nowhere near looking.
No, but it's still a movie that neither of us really want to watch. So, okay, but it was nice talking to you guys on this. We might do more. You guys like this one? Want us to discuss more movies, like not necessarily seeing them? He and I are gonna go see Spider-Man at some point together. I've already done my review on that one, but we'll get a side-by-side talk on that one.
Yeah, because I'm very different when it comes to movies. Like, especially when I come out of a movie. You know this, they know this. I see the movie once, I'm like, ah! Then I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's him after, like, it's been like this for, like, all our time.
As long as we know each other.
I know, and it's one of those, I've left movies being like, wow, that was a really good movie, and the next day I'm like, wow, that was a really shitty movie, where he's just like, oh my god, I love that movie, I'm gonna go watch it 3 more times. Oh my god, I watched that one, like, 2 more times, and I thought it was okay. I'm like, okay.
Except Solo. Solo's the one I walked out of and I had problems.
Yeah.
But after I watched Solo, I can throw that movie on anytime.
Well, and I feel like that's what the Star Wars universe was kind of hoping for. It was this right.
Oh, okay. I was like, serial killer moments. I
feel like that was one of the things Star Wars was hoping for, was that it had rewatch value, but a lot of people hated it. Which that was my thing tonight, was when you're like, oh, they're always going to do it. I'm like, well, they put the other movies on hold. But yeah, talk to you guys later. He's
I'm
Pops.
Pop. Well, I'm Pop.
Yeah, he's Pops. I'm Flix.
One day we'll get it all right.
You know, by that day, I'm gonna be Pop. You're gonna be Poppy. I'm gonna be Flixy. You know. Yeah. But talk to you guys later.